obviously Edinburgh's going on, so it's timely to talk about this. You've got a new film out, Adam Smith, Father of the Fringe. Tell us more. What's Adam Smith got to do with the Fringe?
Well, I don't know how much you know about how the Fringe came about, but in 2019, the Fringe sold more tickets than any other event in the world that year. And in any given year, it will sell more tickets than any other event in the world, except the Olympic Games. That's the only event that sells more tickets. And they're every 4 years. The Fringe is annual. It's an incredible economic success story. The population of Scotland, of Edinburgh, is, I think it's 450, 500,000. In a year, 4 million people come to Edinburgh. And you go, how did it become so big? And I don't know if you know the story of how it started. It was 1947, and this guy called Rudolph Bing put on the Edinburgh International Festival, and he got a load of subsidy to put it on, and he was going to heal the wounds of war through the languages of the arts. And he had like the Halle Orchestra and the Vienna Philharmonic and Sadler's Wells Ballet and Glyndebourne Opera and all this really highbrow stuff. And there were like 8 like semi-amateur, semi-professional groups. There was like a Marxist theatre group from Glasgow that was set up to bring drama of relevance to working people.
And they're still there, aren't they?
I don't think they are. Well,
okay.
There'll be similar groups there.
Yeah.
But they all wanted to come and appear at this inaugural Fringe. And Rudolph Bing, the organiser, said, no, you're not good enough. You know, we want this highbrow, we want the Halle Orchestra, we want Sadler's Wells. And they were like, well, screw that, we're going to come anyway. And so they just turned up, and they were known as the Uninvited 8. There were only 8 groups, Puppeteer from Malvern and a couple of others. And they did incredibly well. And the following year, you know, Bing put on his international festival again. And the following year, there were 9 uninvited groups, which is a 12.5% increase on the previous year. And it just grew like that every year, 5, 10, 15% growth. But by the time you compound that, and it's just been an incredible economic success story. Now, why does a performer go to Edinburgh? Well, there are 4 reasons, and they all boil down to one thing. But the 4 reasons are basically, one is they go to get noticed. They want to be discovered. They want to be the next Fleabag or the next Flight of the Conchords, whatever it is. 2, they go to get better. You know, 25 nights doing a show, you just get better. 3rd, people go to make money. You can actually make money in Edinburgh. And 4th, people go to have fun. And it's usually all those 4 reasons put together, or 2 or 3 of them, but they all boil down to one thing, and that is self-interest. They're not going to Edinburgh to like feed the homeless or solve climate change or anything like that. They're going, you know, a performer goes with their own self-interest in mind. And the great Adam Smith quote that kind of sums up everything Adam Smith said is, it is not from the benevolence of the baker, the brewer, or the butcher that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own self-interest. And Adam Smith's idea was that in acting in our own self-interest, we actually we further society as a whole. And this was his great philosophy that people still struggle 200 years later to get their heads around. And this started as a show in 2019, as a lecture, which took place in the room that Adam Smith finished Wealth of Nations in. And it was like a history of the Fringe through the perspective of Adam Smith. It was a sort of bizarre, I actually only wrote it the night before. I booked it in and I knew what I wanted to say in my head, but I had to do an all-nighter the night before to write it. But it's such a powerful story. It just went down really well. And so me and Alex Webster, the director, who's a friend of mine, we said, look, this was last summer now, there's a massive shortage of content on the telly. If we can go and make a really good film, put together a good film, there might be an opportunity to break into the closed shop that's telly. So we went up and we shot this documentary in the year the Fringe was cancelled. And then my manager was going, no, this is really good. You should get an interview with Jimmy Carr. You should get an interview with Al Murray, blah, blah, blah. So I got interviews, and then I landed an interview with Jimmy, and then Jimmy had been to Dubai and he came back. He had to do 2 weeks in quarantine. So that put the Jimmy interview back. And then there was something else that put something. So it constantly got delayed. Yeah. So we never quite managed to finish it while there was the content shortage. And then like by about November, we had all like meetings with head honchos at the BBC and stuff, but you know, it was Zoom meetings to nowhere. And emails into the void. Nobody was fucking interested, even with Jimmy Carr and Al Murray and Henning Vane and Arthur Smith and Shazia. And so Shazia Mirza. So we were like, oh, fuck, we're just going to have to put this on YouTube. But we had loads of archive footage in it, and we needed a bit of money to just finish off the post-production, do the grading, get it looking good, get the music used, get some original music composed and all of this. And then I was in, I just got this weird phone text message. No, it was an email from a guy, and he goes, oh, I've just had a near-death experience with COVID. I was 36 hours from death, apparently, but I've been watching some of your YouTube videos while I'm in hospital, and I just wanted to write and thank you for all the laughter you brought me while I was so close to death. I really appreciate it, and I'd really like to help you out if I can in some way. And by the way, I'm a video games entrepreneur, and I'm worth 150 million pounds. So I said, well, we got this film, but we need a bit of money to get it over the line, and the money was in my account the very next day.
Oh, dear.
So it's Adam Smith would be proud of that. So that's how the film happened, and we've literally just finished it 2 or 3 days ago, and we've got it up on the website, and we just had our first review an hour ago. Very nice review from Bruce Dessau. So